So here, what's going on? I guess I could do a melodic minor because I'm not hitting any. So I could do melodic minor would be. Would allow you to be a E9 for the second chord for the 5 chord. But that kind of takes it away from the, it definitely takes it away from the harmonic minor. If you go to an E9, I'm doing a pure E7 here. A pure A minor, no 7th. Ah, see. But as soon as I go to that G, it kind of really sets up a more of a just a pure minor thing. So okay, Zahara. So yeah, if you ask, I'm fine too. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're fine. Focusing more on the guitar and doing more of it in general. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? Well, that's awesome. I'm glad. It's such a crazy instrument. I mean, it's never ending. My problem is I like too many different styles. I never focused on one. And I say that's a problem. It's actually what keeps me employed. The fact that I have so many different interests, kind of attention deficit disorder when it comes to my career. And you know, the musician's career is not for the faint of heart by any stretch. There's so many variables. You know, with guitar, with music, I've got, you know, I can play multiple different instruments. Could I play bebop mandolin? Probably not. If I wrote out some lines and it kind of worked it up, yeah, I could sell it. But if you threw me in a gig and gave me a mandolin and it was a bebop gig, I probably couldn't do guitar with a bebop gig. I mean, I used to do it back when I was a kid, in my 20s. I used to do bebop stuff, but I was never very good at it. And even if I was, no one would care because it's not a way to make a living. But it's fun. Well, I don't know. It wasn't that fun because we were playing from like midnight to 4 a.m. in Skid Row of all places. But it was certainly a way to learn, you know, kind of trial by fire, to say the least. Bebop is definitely that. And then, but, you know, bluegrass, country, rock, metal, whatever, so many genres. So just with guitar, you have so many genres. But then you start picking up other instruments, and it's like, yeah, I could play bebop mandolin, I guess, or bebop banjo. Now, a 6-string banjo, tuned like a guitar, I could play, you know, the same. I could do the same kind of lines. I could do a lot of the same lines on a 6-string banjo, so it sounds like a banjo, but it plays like a guitar. That's great. But then there's the other aspect of it. There's you can teach, you can play live, you can do studio work, you can compose or write. I mean, you multiply all the different ways you can make a living, the different avenues of revenue, the revenues, and all the different instruments and all the different genres, and you multiply all that. It's literally, I mean, it's almost infinite. The the ways that you can approach the guitar or approach music as a career. It's crazy. And I taught for 35 years. That's why I'm here right now. The first guitar lesson I ever gave was when I was 15 years old. I was 15 or 13. No, I think I was 15. Yeah, because I was at high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and a teacher saw me with a guitar, and she said, "Oh, do you play guitar?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Would you teach my son?" And I went, "Okay." And so she picked me up, took me to her house, which was just a mile away, and then I taught her son a guitar lesson, and she took me home. And I think I got paid $5 for a half hour, which, that would have been 1976. That would have been pretty darn good. Minimum wage was probably $2.15 or something at the time. Hey, what's going on, Brazil? Um, so that was the beginning of teaching. I didn't do a whole lot. That student, I probably taught maybe 4 or 5 lessons. I'm not sure why it didn't. I mean, I was probably not a very good teacher. Didn't know what I was doing. I don't even remember the student at all. But when I got asked when I was 17, just before my 18th birthday, I got asked to teach at the guitar store that I had been taking lessons at. And kind of went through all the teachers there. And not that I learned everything they had to teach me, it was just more kind of got the best out of all the teachers. And the lady who ran the store, she really liked me, and she said, "Would you be interested in teaching?" We had a teacher that quit, and I think he had 5 students on Tuesdays, and so she said, "You can come up on Tuesdays and teach," and it paid $7 an hour. Wait, it paid. They charged 7.5 hour. I got $4.50 of that, so I got $9 an hour, which was pretty good at the time. Again, minimum wage was probably, $2.50 or something. I don't know. That's a. I wonder if I can. Okay, I got Chat GPT, so let's see if we can ask Chat GPT. What was the minimum wage in 1976 in Indiana? $2.30 an hour, so I was really close. And it was the federal minimum wage that probably Indiana probably didn't have a minimum wage at that point. Um, so that was a lot of money. I remember at the time when it was getting $9 an hour, I was going, I'm getting 3 times minimum wage. That's a pretty good deal, and I'm playing guitar all day. So I had 4 students. I remember Fiona McDonald was one of them. I think she took all the way through high school. So, I think she was my student for 3 years. There was Scott Houston. Man, that kid was a monster. He was one of those kids that was on the tennis team. On the tennis team, he was a straight A student, never took a book home, and I couldn't give him enough to work on. In fact, he started taking an hour lesson every week because I'd give him a half hour and I'd give him something to work on, and he'd have it down the first 2 days. And he's like, "Yeah, I can." And I remember his last name was spelled Houston, Huston, not Hou. Scott Houston. I should ask Chat GPT, whatever happened to Scott Houston from Carmel, Indiana. But and I mean, I doubt he actually went on to play guitar for a living. He might have. It seems to me when the internet was very early, in the 90s, I was doing a lot more searching for people from the 70s that I knew that were more close to memory, and Yep, you worked for Hardee's. My wife worked for Hardee's. My wife worked for Hardee's too. And I said, "Do you still have that uniform, baby?" Was it a brown uniform and an orange trim or something like that? It was awful. It was awful. The I worked. I've talked about this. In fact, Carrie, who hired me to teach guitar lessons at Phelan's guitar store, which now it became Carmel Music. Now they just closed like a month ago, so it'd been around for a long time. Jack Phelan started it, and then Carrie, his wife, took it over, and then she sold it and retired. And but I was working at a Mexican restaurant called Gringos. It's like worst named. It's like a soul food restaurant called Jaime's. You know, it's like, what the heck are you thinking? Who wants to go to a Mexican restaurant called Gringos? But you know, so I worked there for 6 weeks and hated every minute of it pretty much. The best part of it was, believe it or not, was the end of the day when everyone was gone or when it was closed and I had to do cleaning and I'm mopping the floors and I could put, you know, I'm making minimum wage and I'm freaking putting quarters in the jukebox. But I found a song that was like really good guitar on it. It was the B side to "Freak Out" by Le Chic or Chic. Was it Le Chic or Chic? And the flip side, it was like a 9-minute jazz kind of thing that was Niles Rodgers playing. And I didn't know who Niles Rodgers was at the time. I just knew it was really good guitar playing. So I put that on, and that would kill 10 minutes right there. So, I mean, wow, that's a flashback. If I put that song on now, I'd probably be like, oh my gosh, I'd probably get all stressed out, like, what am I going to do with my life? But God bless Carrie. She asked me to teach. I was 17 years old, or maybe just turned 18. And she had me, you know, teaching, and the students loved me, and she loved me, and she kept getting me students. And by the time within a year, I was teaching 4 days a week, maybe 4.5 days a week. I was teaching after school Monday through Thursday and then Saturday morning. And I was playing in a band that would play Friday night, oftentimes out of town. So I'd get home at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, Saturday morning, and I'd have to get up and be teaching lessons at 10 o'clock, like 10 to 1 or something like that. So, yeah, it's crazy. Maybe it's a low question, but of the 3 minor tonales you've listed, how do you decide which one to use? Does it depend mostly on the given musical situation? It depends on the chord progression. In fact, I gave you 3 different chord progressions there. For example, there's another, I can do another chord progression here. Give me a minute. All right, I gotta go, where are our chord progressions? Okay, here. What's the tempo here? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, a 99 will work. Okay. So let me go back to, was it the Rhodes? Where's the Rhodes? Okay. Oh, I got delay on it? Why do I have delay on the Rhodes? All right. You know, let me just do a quick. I don't remember the groove on this, to be honest. I'm just going to do a simple. Okay, that'll do. That's 8 bars, I think. All right, let me quantize that because I'm not the best. I'm going to go 8 notes. All right. I'm going to add some hi-hat to that. You probably couldn't hear that. Let me put it up a little bit. There's a hi-hat. Those open hats get loud sometimes. And, okay, so there's drums. Okay, now it gives me something to play against with the Rhodes, and I'll add bass, but I'm going to do, let's see, what is it? Is it go to the... Goes to the 4/5 chord. Okay, so it goes 1 5 1 4. I was turning it around in my head. Okay, now that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to do the first 8 bars of Black Magic Woman here. So. That'll do it. Quantize that. Did I quantize the hi-hats? I don't remember. Okay, I already merged it. Let me see. I did quantize the hi-hats. Okay. All right. Little bass. Boom. I don't know what to do on the bass. See what happens. That gets us to that now. So the chord progression there is basically D minor to A minor to D minor to G minor. All right, so it would fit into this Aeolian thing here. All right, the notes, if I were to look at the notes in the A minor, it's A, C, E. And I want you to learn all these. We've talked about the triad stuff. If you just learn the white key triads, you know, you can be completely racist here, just white keys. Okay, black keys will work their way in, but if you just do the C, E, G, D, F, A, you know, memorize 3 notes, every other letter of the musical alphabet: C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, B, F, A, C, G, B, D. Sorry, and did I say E? Yeah, E, G, B, G, B, D, A, C, E, and D, F. Sorry, B, D, F. Those are just, you memorize that, and those are the building blocks for all of the triads. So if you got A minor, oh, that's bass. What the heck? Okay. Well, A minor is A, C, E. Well, A flat major is A flat, C, E flat. So it still has an A, C, E in it in the name, but the A is flatted, the E is flatted, but the C is still the same. And that's why I want you to memorize the sound of those, so you can always think that term. You don't want to go, okay, that's G sharp, C, E flat, or A flat, C, D sharp. No, you want to make sure that you keep the triad names to be a letter in between each letter, okay? So A, skip B, go to C. C, skip D, go to E. That's how triads are discussed, and when you go to, you know, when you got a 7th in there, that's a G. That's how, when you're describing triads, when you're explaining to other musicians, when you're writing triads, when you're doing music, whatever, that's the terminology. That's how it's expressed. So you want to do it now. So with this progression, it's just A minor, or no. Let me turn everything down, but turn the guitar up a little bit. The drums get out of control sometimes. Now, let me see. Is it a 12-bar blues? this. So it's kind of a weird progression when you're thinking Black Magic Woman, because I did an 8-bar phrase instead of a 12-bar phrase. So Black Magic Woman is kind of a, you could call it a minor blues because it's 12 bars long. But normally on a blues, you would go to the 4 chord before you go to the 5 chord. So this is a kind of a, I don't know if if you would call Black Magic Woman a blues song or not, but you can definitely play D. So I'm playing D minor pentatonic. Sorry. Oh, John, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, Holly, what's going on? I didn't say hi to everybody. Becker's in the house. Yeah. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. Exactly, Beck. That's the next thing to memorize. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's, and it, yeah, and that's the, he's talking about triads in the key. So when you're doing the key of C, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, boom, diminished, and then C major. When you're talking about intervals, we talked about it, whole, half, whole, half, right? And we've done that whole spreadsheet and everything. No, I really appreciate it, John. It all helps. So, so I'm playing in D minor. I think blues is fine if I want to. I mean, it's, that A flat sounds a little weird over the A minor, but it doesn't sound as bad as you think it should, because you know that you're going back to a D minor chord. D minor, A minor, D minor, I'm going to show you, okay, so I'm going to give you the 3 chords in open position. I'm going to show you kind of a cool G minor chord. So A minor, or I'm sorry, D minor we'll start with, and that would be probably the easiest way you can play that is XX0, 2, 3, 1. So these are frets. All right, you figure out the fingering. A minor is the second chord, and that would be X0, 2, 2, 1, 0, or A minor 7, totally legit in this song. That would be X, did I do that right? Yeah, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0. And then a cool G minor, it's technically G minor 6, so that's what I'm going to write. G minor 6, but totally playable. In fact, if you know how to play a G chord, you can totally play this chord. And it's going to be 3rd fret, nothing, open, 3rd, 3rd, open. All right? So I'm not playing the A string. I love it, having that E note there. And you can put an F, if you really want, you can have an F, make it a G minor 7. I've used that chord. That's the 3 chords: D minor, A minor, G minor. But I'm just taking that G minor 6 chord, and I'm sliding up 2 frets. It's got a D in there if you hit it, and then go all the way up here. And you get a D minor with an added second. Let's see. Oh, Gary's here. Hey, Gary. Where's Gary? You see Gary? Or did he? I don't see Gary anywhere. What are you talking about, Holly? Holly? Your whole. Oh, there's Gary. Holly the link. Oh, Sam is in the house. Hey, Sam. Sorry, I didn't see everybody. Joseph is in the house. Hello, Joseph. Um, you can't stay today. So you jumped on to say you're jumping off. Is that what you said? Your point, Sam? Okay. So on this progression, is a great opportunity to practice the different pentatonic shapes. Okay, I'm going to show you. How do I do this? Well, so D minor pentatonic. Okay, and then A minor pentatonic right here. And again, we can talk snippets. Let's talk snippets. And what I mean by snippets is little pieces of the scale. Let's do the top two strings. Okay. Okay, play that for me. 10, if you got I'm on acoustic, you should be able to still get this. 10, 13, 10, 13. And then maybe go back to there, okay? That's a D minor snippet. All right, so that's a snippet, 4 of the 12 notes of the D minor pentatonic at the 10th fret. Don't worry, no quiz on this, so don't worry about all that gibberish I just said. I said it so fast. Okay, here's a snippet of the A minor pentatonic right there in the same position. Check it out. Same second string is the same. So it's gonna be 10, 13, and then 10, 12. So I'm gonna take the first 4 bars of this jam, and so we're just gonna go D minor to A minor. And I actually played A minor 7, but little Mark Knopfler there, right? He would use his fingers though. Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna let this run for a second. You jam. Can you guys hear it? A minor. 10, 13, 10, 13, here. 10, 13, 10, 12, here. All right, so there's that. Then the next progression is the 1 chord to the 4 chord in G minor. Okay, so play the snippet in D minor pentatonic. 10, 13, 10, 13. Right? And actually, if you superimpose the 2 scales together, you would get 10, 10, 13, 10, 12, 13, right? Because oh, thank you, Joseph. The 12th fret is where we go to for the A minor, right? I mean, we could talk about it's true. I mean, it's crazy how you can take 4 notes and do so many things with it, really. I mean, I didn't even try to come up with a bunch of things, but I didn't want to get you bored, so I tried to mix it up a little bit. So now for the G minor, instead of 12, 13, I'm sorry, 10, 13, we're going to go 11, 13. And the top two strings are also going to stay the same at 10, 13. Okay, so just a quick review of the three scales. We have D minor snippet, 12, 13, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13. Sorry about that. Okay, for the A minor pentatonic, we had 10, 13, 10, 12. I feel like going live like this is a great way for you know, if I have a stroke, for it to be witnessed. And I think Bruce knows my address, so he can call 911 if I have a stroke in front of you all. Sometimes my brain, I just go, why did I say 12, 13? I'm like, am I having a stroke? So you'll know if I start speaking gibberish, right? I don't taste pennies. Or Bruce has my Addy, so 10, 13, 10, 13 for D minor, 10, 13, 10, 12 for A minor, and then 11, 13, 10, 13 for G minor. So now I just got it bracketed around the D minor to the G minor chord. So we're going to 1 and 4. So, but again, we can create a hybrid scale, right? If I add that B flat there, if I go, instead of 10, 13, if I go 10, 11, 13, I'm adding the note that's different between the G minor pentatonic and the D minor pentatonic. I'm adding that to the snippet of the D minor. Again, no quiz on this, don't worry, I know I'm talking fast, okay? But that would look like this: 10, 11, 13, 10, 13. And if we add the A minor pentatonic note here, now we just have a plain old G minor scale, or B flat major scale, whatever. Or I'm sorry, F major. Oh, this would be F major scale, sorry. A D minor scale. Thank you for buying me a cup of, yeah, you paid for my coffee today, Joseph. It's actually only 3:45. I pretty much just, oh, have a great day. Oh, see, they're all, corporate told them to start writing on the cups. Although this looks like, I wonder if this is pre-printed. No, because sometimes it says Tom. That's phenomenal handwriting, though. I mean, that just looks, look at that. It looks totally pre-printed. If you were to do, like, you know, fake handwriting on a product, that's pretty much what it would look like. It's pretty amazing. Usually it's just a smiley face, and, you know, or something, or it says, hey, have a great day, Tom, or something like that. But anyway. Okay, so I'm going to use the hybrid scale now. We've created a new scale: A, B flat, C, D, F, if you want to know. I want to go down there, and so we can add those notes, okay? So check this out. Now let's do a 3-string snippet, all right? So we're going to go, third string, we're going to go 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13. And that's our D minor pentatonic. For the A minor pentatonic, we're going to have to go down to 9, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 12. And then for the G minor, we're just gonna go back to these two notes. So it'd be 10, 12, and then 11, 13, 10, 13. Exactly. Exactly. Mod duty, moderator duty does include that, Holly. It always has. Uh, it's funny because I told you about, I had kind of like a flu or something. I don't know if it was food poisoning or flu. Other people had it, so it makes me think it was maybe a flu. It was all lower intestinal. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Um, but I never had a fever or anything like that. But I had to stay close to home for a couple days. And it took a lot out of me. Did I lose 15 pounds? I lost at least 10 pounds. And I still have most of it off. I've actually kept it off, which is, I'm trying to lose more. Well, then, like a couple weeks later, I mean, Saturday morning, I get up and I walk to Starbucks. I get home and I'm so tired. I can't even keep my head up. I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't sleep great the night before, and so I'm like, well, maybe I'm just tired. But I went, you know what? I'm tired of this because this keeps happening. I went to the urgent care, literally a block from my house. I can walk to it. So I walked over to the urgent care, and they did some blood work. I got the blood work back, and I went back in for a consult. Well, they actually said they don't do the consult. I'm supposed to take that work to someone else, but I walked in there and said, so what does all this mean? And so, for the most part, everything was good. But my ALT number was high, elevated, which is a liver thing. But none of the other liver numbers were changed, so she wasn't too concerned about that. And then I also had another number that was kind of like, oh, you're dehydrated. How much water do you drink? And I went, what's water? I kind of hate water. And she's like, you need to be hydrated and drink more water. So I've been drinking a lot of water, and now I tell Beth, if I ever say I'm tired, just tell me to drink a couple glasses of water. And so it's crazy. I was dehydrated. I was drinking one of these every morning, maybe having a Diet Coke with lunch and then some lemonade with dinner. And that's it. That's all I would drink in a day, and I felt fine. Well, I've been drinking a lot. Now it means going to the bathroom, but I also started taking magnesium. Beth started taking magnesium to help her sleep, and it's helped me sleep, and it's helped get rid of some of the acid reflux. And you think, oh, that's like milk of magnesium or something, but I think that's for. So anyway, I'm not giving medical advice. Don't take it as that. But we have 3 different pentatonics. Now I'm gonna see if you can see my hands good enough. I wish I could zoom this camera in. There's not a way to do that. I wish I had controls on. I could zoom in. I can do this, which we don't like. We've determined we don't like this because it makes the headstock blurry. Or I could do this, this, which we also don't like. Okay. Now I have studio light on, which I think is better. That's off. See, I don't like that. This is definitely better. Okay. So I'm going to stick to those 3 strings, and I'm going to play over the progression. Again, remember the progression is D minor to A minor, D minor to G minor. All right, here we go. try to do, that first chord is just kind of quiet. I'm going to boost it up a little bit. It doesn't look that quiet, but anyway, I'm going to boost it up anyway. Okay. David, what's going on? Fizzy water and white wine. The doctor told me today that, well, and the tiramisu and wine is not balanced diet. Yeah. I eat pretty healthy. Beth makes sure I eat pretty healthy. I rarely get like fast food or anything like that. Sometimes I'm just jonesing for McDonald's, or we had In-N-Out yesterday for lunch, and that's actually pretty healthy. I mean, not healthy, but it's not horrible. It's pretty fresh, I should say. Okay, so again, I'll try to go slow on this. If I combine them, I get a scale, an F major scale. Now I want to add another string. I mean, there's so many different ways to approach it. I'm hitting on 1/1000000000 of 1% of the ways, believe it or not. And, okay, these can go somewhere. All right. So it's funny because it sounds weird because it's not the whole 12-bar phrase. The rest of it would be... Stop. And I could do a jam track, technically, I guess. Let's see. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to finish out the progression. All right. Let's see. I'll fix the drums. I don't need to replay the drums. That'll work. Or I could put a tom in there. Boom. And then put a kick to kind of get us back into there. To get us back to the top. All right, now keys. Let's see. There's a delay on there. Okay, let me quantize that. Kind of a little hard to play keys when you got a piano or a guitar in your hand. Okay, bass. Funny. I don't know why there's a delay on there, but there is. Okay, quantize. All right. So now I got the whole progression. So, and so we're not referencing any of the scales over here, okay? None of these scales, because we're in the key of D minor, not A minor. I could modulate this down to A minor. We could do the whole thing in A minor. But now I got the whole chord progression. So it's going to go, and I can, let me see. Maybe I can just add it to this. Let me try that. Boom. All right, here's the progression. It's D minor, D minor, to A minor, to A minor, D minor, D minor, G minor, G minor, D minor, A minor, D minor, D minor, basically. Okay. And that stays pretty much out of the way of my neck here, I think. All right. We'll kind of run with that. Here we go. So 12 bar, it's kind of a blues. Kind of a blues. I'll go back to the snippet. So you can hear almost, I almost can't not play, is that the right way? Santana licks, because you can tell that what he's thinking when he soloed over this was the different pentatonics. And he kind of would do like he would do that, and then he would go up here for the A minor. He might have gone up, but he did that. And that you could did a blues scale, hit the A flat in there. Progression like this, maybe I'll create a loop of this and I can upload it to just I'll upload it to an MP3 to the Discord. I haven't put anything up in Discord in a while. I mean, I could do a video of this and it probably wouldn't be a bad thing, just in a kind of a basic jam along track. Tempo's 99. I'm gonna bump it up to 100 just to, the OCD in me is like, why is it 99? I don't know why. Probably because that was the tempo of the other song we were working on. Okay, now I should have set it to 200 and gone, wow, there's a real big difference between 99 and 100. Dang it, missed my opportunity to troll you guys. All right. But yeah, I can copy and paste this a bunch of times and then bounce it and then upload it to Discord. You can practice with. Now, here's what you can practice, is you can practice playing the different pentatonics in the same place. Like stay in the same fret position, and that's a really good skill to have. So like, for example, I can play all the pentatonics. E minor, A minor, back to D minor. So there's there. So you can just pick, work there for a while. Just kind of play all the way through the progression. Try to find the three pentatonic shapes in that position. Maybe play through the progression 10 times that way. Spend 100 minutes in one position, and then go to the next one. The next one's a little weirder. There's D minor. A minor is going to be, and G minor is going to be like that. So let's see what we got. So, yeah, phenomenal practice concept there. All right, I can copy and paste this for 10 minutes worth, bounce it, and put it in the Discord. Okay, another reason to join the Discord, so you have access to that stuff. Hey, Don? What's going on? Good morning. Yep. Oh no, we're doing Black Magic Woman progression, and we're in D minor, not A minor. So the progression is down here basically. It's a 12-bar blues. I mean, he basically is playing blues over it. So, 130 ounces of water per day. Holy crap! Did you just look that up, or is that? Well, the other thing that I did on Saturday, I gave blood for the first time. I've never done that before. And apparently it's kind of good for you. It actually, it can reduce your chance of a heart attack by 88%. And men are more likely to have heart attacks than women. And part of the reason is that women have a natural system, a monthly system that essentially... It kind of cracks me up how, these things that were considered archaic, like bloodletting, actually turns out to be, anything that's been done for 2,000 or 3,000 years probably has been proven on some level correct, right? I was always very, very skeptical of like New Age, what we would have called back in the day, New Age medicine, like Eastern medicine, like acupressure and stuff like that. And I'm far less skeptical of that kind of stuff now because I'm like, well, for one thing, you had a lot of stuff was practiced on people that were unwitting and didn't have a choice. I'm talking about medieval times in the West as well as in the East. And okay, I think this will cure cancer or cure this ailment or whatever. And they do it and the guy immediately dies. And you're like, okay, that didn't work. Let's try it again. And, 50 times later, they go, okay, so doing that apparently doesn't work. But now I think they're using leeches again. That's another thing. It's like leeches actually, they eat the infection. It's like, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes complete sense. And yet we go, well, that's, I remember the SNL bit with Steve Martin and, you need a good bloodletting, What was it? Don the Barber or something like that. He was a barber. And it's like, you went to the barber and it's like, give people blood. But that's amazing. Donate twice a month. That's a lot. Yeah. So, but apparently it's good for you. I think they said I can't donate again until July something. So it looked like 2 months before I could donate again. Now plasma is different. Plasma, I think you have to go in multiple times a week to donate. I'm not even sure how that works. Are you donating plasma or are you donating blood? I don't know where they get the plasma from. No, I get it from the blood, but it's like, do they give you the blood back or something? Is it just they cycle it? I don't know. But anyway, my daughter and my son-in-law, to save up money for their trip, they went and donated plasma. I love that. Hey, Dennis, what's going on? Good to see you. We got everybody here. Bob, Holly, and Bruce and Dennis now. All of the mods are here. It's the Mod Squad. What was the Mod Squad theme? I know I'm going to know it when I hear it. I'm probably going to have a problem with this theme song. Oh, ending theme. Opening. Going to have to cut out that bit. It's going to say copyrighted material. I wonder if that was written by the same guy that did the Mission Impossible theme. Lalo Schifrin? Let me look it up. That kind of stuff always fascinates me. It's like, you can usually tell, like, oh, wow, that sounds a lot like this theme. And it's like, sure enough, that's why, because it's the same composer. I mean, I would be dead now if I'd worked on that show, but it would have been fun to be a session player back then. Let's see. Oh, here, I gotta go here. Cast and crew, IMDb. Also, thank you to Elixir Strings. They're not selling banjo strings or mandolin strings anymore, so they sent me a bunch of banjo strings. Directors, writers, a lot of writers. Peggy Lipton was married to Quincy Jones, right? Oh, dang. Where's the composer list? All the way at the bottom. A lot of composers. Well, let's see. Oh, Billy May. That's interesting. He was an arranger for the Billy May Orchestra for Sinatra. Earl Hagen. Okay, so I'm assuming Earl Hagen, who wrote 71 of the episodes, is probably the guy that wrote the theme. Shorty Rogers. I know that name. I think he was a trombone player or something. A bugler. Okay. Interesting. He might have been a member of the Wrecking Crew. You know, a lot of the smart guys in the Wrecking Crew and a lot of those guys that doing session work and stuff, they were smart and made the jump to composing. Especially when drum machines and synthesizers came around. And most TV music now is not live musicians. But that may be not true so much right now. There was a long period of time where it was a lot of synths and stuff, maybe a drummer and a guitar player, but not too much else, you know. Sorry, I'm going to move this back so I can get the guitar up. All right, so with this, it's real simple to know which pentatonic to play over this chord progression. It's basically when it's on D minor, you play the D minor pentatonic, A minor, you play the A minor pentatonic, and G minor, you play the G minor pentatonic. Now, what I don't want you to do is what I'm going to do right now, and that is just move the pentatonic shape around to accommodate the chord. Okay, check it out. So this is how you might recognize someone who's a beginner. Basically just moving the same shape around. No, there's an A minor shape here, there's a G minor shape here, there's an A minor shape here, a D minor shape, G, you know, every 3 frets or so, you should be able, every 2 or 3 frets, you should be able to find all 3 of the shapes so you don't have to move. You can move. There, if I want to. If it's part of the melodic idea that I'm having, or part of the position, because different positions sound differently, and if I want to change the sound, then maybe jumping down is totally fine. I'm just saying, if that's all you're doing and you only learn one shape, then you're really not going to progress very much. So the idea is to use a song like this as kind of an exercise to play 3 different shapes in the same position, and just get familiar with them. Like I said, I'm gonna copy and paste this. It's gonna be 10 minutes long, and if you play it through one time, that may be great in one position and move to the next position or whatever, and then you could keep doing that. Or you could do 10 times in a row and play in a position. You can start with pentatonic number 1 D minor up here at the 10th fret, and you can start with snippets too. So if you're gonna do it 10 times, you're gonna have 10 shots to kind of get familiar with this. And I'm not talking 10 times through the progression. I'm talking 10 times through the entire duration of the clip. But you can start with the snippets. And then go maybe to the middle 2 strings. So if we just did the middle 2 strings, we would not have any change over the G minor chord here at the 10th fret. Okay, it would be D minor to A minor. We would take that 10th fret on the 3rd string, go down to the 9th fret. Okay, and then to G minor, it's the same. It's just 10, 12, 10, 12. Do you know what riff? Let's see. Any baseball fans here now to play Centerfold by John Fogerty? I've been playing that riff for the last few days. Do you know a riff? So you don't need to buy me another cup of coffee. That song played on the radio so much. What was that year? It was the year I think it was the year I moved. It was '83. I moved here. It's funny because my teacher that I studied with here in LA, Carl Verheyen, played on a Fogerty record and then became friends with John Fogerty and then became his teacher, like a coach or whatever. John Fogerty really got into it. Carl's a crazy guitar player. I mean, he just plays stuff like not a normal guitar player does. He just doesn't think normal. Yeah. It is Belgian. Yep. Verheyen. Yeah. Carl. Yeah. Or Dutch. He may be Dutch. Not Verheyen. Get rid of that first N. Verheyen. And yeah, he's pretty big, session player. I saw him when I visited here in '82. I saw him at a club called At My Place that doesn't exist anymore. It was in San Francisco, Santa Monica. And he was playing with Richard Elliott, a sax player, and they did one of his songs, and I'm like, dang, this guy is a monster guitar player. So I went backstage afterwards to talk to him and got his number and said, can I take a guitar lesson from you? And I went over to his apartment in Van Nuys in 1982 and took a guitar lesson with him. He was still living in an apartment, he was married. And then I went to see him again play at... when I came out here in '82, I was out here for a week, and every night I was in LA going to a different club. So he was playing with, was it like Kazu Matsui or something like that? It was a Japanese woodwind player who worked with all these, LA musicians, and would hire them for records, and Carl played on it. And Carlos Rios was on guitar. And I actually sat with Carl's wife because she was by herself, and I thought, well, this is Hollywood. You shouldn't sit by yourself. So I sat with her, and I think I even walked her to her car. I was more scared than she was. And then when I moved to California, I took a few more lessons with Carl. Like I would take these hour lessons with him every now and then. So, but yeah, Carl Verheyen. He has a guitar like a cricket bat. So when you do these, like, let's just say you did 10 minutes times 10, that's 100 minutes, okay? The first time through, you can work on this snippet, okay? Like, first 10 minutes, you play just... You can even just do... Try to change on the downbeat. Okay? Even that is a good exercise. Or no, it doesn't. But try to change as soon as, change as soon as the chord changes, change to the new pentatonic. Then you could do maybe these two strings, and then you could do these two strings, and you could do these two strings, do these two strings. Well, that's 5 times now. Okay, but now you're getting to know that area. You're getting to know the nuance between those shapes. And then you could do 3 strings. You could do these 3. You could do these 3. You could do these 3. And that's 9 different approaches right there. Then you could do 4-string groups. Okay? Then you can do these 4. And you can do these 4. And now that you're up to 12 approaches, you could do 5-string. But at that point, you might as well do all 6 strings. So that's 12, 13. Well, now you could do string skipping. What does that sound? What is that? Hold on a second. Is it this? No? Oh my gosh, do I have a neighbor doing something? That's a horrible sound. I must investigate. Let me investigate. I'm going to put the track on. You listen to it. We'll see if, hopefully the noise isn't my house, something in my house doing something crazy. Okay, here we go. Right back. Mystery unsolved. I went out the kitchen door and I listened, and it sounded like it was coming from in front of the house. I went to the front of the house, and whatever it was, it stopped at that point. I'm like, uh-oh. It almost sounded like when I went to the front of the house and I didn't hear it, I was like, uh-oh, is it something in the kitchen? Because I heard it loud and clear outside the kitchen. But it seems like we're okay. So I don't see any. That was a weird sound. Oh, he has a he has a guitar shaped like a baseball bat. That's right. Oh no, Belgium. Okay. Well, you would know. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I know he spends a lot of time in Holland. He really likes going to Holland, but he spends a lot of time in Europe doing festivals and stuff. So let me show you. If I do the. Oh, I muted my guitar. Because I thought maybe it was a channel. Oh, well, that's a bad sound. We had that problem last time. Let's see. I don't like the delay on this. Why is that such a nasty delay? Okay, don't need that delay. Weird. Now, if I take, say, this third string and the first string, speaking of Carl Verheyen, this is probably something he would do. But it's also the book by Mick Goodrick, The Advancing Guitarist. He suggests this kind of stuff. The other thing that you could totally do, and I'm going to show you in a second, help me remember that. But if I do this, for A minor, it's going to be this. But for G minor, it's going to be the same. Not going to change. Okay, so that's a good exercise too. That's like something that you're like, it makes you think in different ways. You could do the fourth string, and the thing it makes you try to do is to try to find some melodies in that. Well, anybody can play a melody that's consists of seconds and thirds, second, third, but then that's a fifth, and that's what I'm talking about. Carl Verheyen is very much he would do weird kind of disjointed melodies, but to make that musical, I felt like I had a moment that I was, oh, that's cool, I could totally see you doing that. You can find things. Okay, now here's the other thing we can do. We can do just one string. Okay, so if I were to play D minor pentatonic on one string, say the B string, oops, to A minor, very, very John Mayer-like, and then go to G minor. Okay, so that would sound like this. That's actually a lot of fun. I could do the G string. Get your mind out of the gutter. mean, it's just fun. So trying to find those scales and um, don't necessarily stress about learning 3 new scales. You can learn the D minor scale and just learn the note that changes. So it's kind of like instead of learning 3 things, you're learning 1.2 things. You know, you're learning the D minor scale and then 0.1 for the taking the F down to the E for the A minor, and another 0.1 for taking the A up to B flat in the G minor. And so, you know, you can, and you'll start to see that stuff kind of unfold on the fretboard. But again, it's playing on one string is a great way to start to learn your fretboard, particularly on electric. You can do it on acoustic too, but I always say that's the most important thing you can do on electric, is to learn your fretboard. And the most important lesson. And with acoustic guitar, if you're primarily an acoustic guitar player, particularly if you're primarily a strumming acoustic guitar player, I always say, hey, look, learn as many strumming grooves as possible so you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. Because a lot of people will do that. So they have a show similar to the NAMM show in Europe. Yeah, it's called Music Messe. Yeah, I've never been to Music Messe. Going to Music Messe, I think it's MESSA. Is that right, Dennis? Or MESSE, I think. Music Messe. MUSIKMESS. Let me look it up. Yeah, it's in Frankfurt, 2025. When is it? I can't read that. Translate this result. Yes, please. Oh, no, that's not it. That's different. Okay, this is what I want. Hold on. This is what I want. It's like the NAMM show, but it's like the NAMM show in the 80s because everybody smokes. A lot of smoking and drinking going on. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's changed in the last couple of years since COVID. Maybe it changed. But yeah, it's a whole nother. I mean, if I pull up images, yeah, it looks a lot like the NAMM show, a trade show. It's just basically a trade show. Oh boy, those are annoying pictures. It's like VR pictures. I don't want VR pictures of the mess. Who wants VR pictures on their browser? Okay, that's a nice Strats there. If those are vintage Strats, those are super duper nice. Yeah, so I don't know that I ever really want to go. I've been to Frankfurt. Well, no, I haven't. I've been to the airport in Frankfurt. Never actually walked around Germany. Maybe on the horizon. We'll see. It just depends. But so the it's just funny because the NAMM show, when I first started going in the 80s, maybe even it was in the 90s, it was a kind of a different thing. California is going to have stricter rules on smoking and things like that, so I don't remember smoking at the NAMM show, but apparently that's kind of a thing at the Music Messe. Most of the people I know that do NAMM, they don't go to Frankfurt because it's just like, yeah, we don't really want to do that. So yeah, it's I think if you could probably go. I mean, you'd probably dig it. I think that's it. Music Messe. What does that mean? Oh, did you say German, English? Do you know what Messe means? Is it the same? Some words in German are the same as Dutch, right? Hollandaise. Is that the language you guys speak, Hollandaise? Hall. Okay, music hall. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they call. Okay. Well, NAMM is just the National Association of Music Merchants, so it's a less interesting. Messe isn't a Dutch word at all. This is not a Dutch word for messe. Well, that's funny because a mess hall in English, mess hall is where soldiers get their food. That's like the cafeteria for soldiers. You go to the mess. They say go to the mess hall. Anybody here in the military? Joseph, you were in the military, right? I wasn't. I was 4F. My hair is a mess, but anyway. I was 4F. My mom was so happy because when I was born, the 60s, the draft was a thing, the 70s, into the 70s. And so I didn't have to worry about that because I'm blind in one eye. Oh, the Messe is the venue name itself. Okay. Interesting. You were going to college, so okay. You got the college deferment. Okay, bro. God bless you. Take care. Thank you. Yeah. So let me do this while we're chatting. I'm gonna go ahead and create. I'm gonna loop this a bunch of times. Let's see. One. I mean, I don't know. What I need to do is I need to mark where 10 minutes is. So this is 35 minutes here, where it sits. Don't need this. 35. Nope. Well, it's going to go way out here. Okay. All right. Hopefully I don't have gaps. Okay, that's 16 times through the progression. So it's going to be 20 times the progression. It won't quite be 10 minutes, but it'll be more than you can take. So I got to do one thing. I got to get rid of that pickup on the drums, right? Because I got pickup. I got that last note there, the kick drum. I'm going to get rid of that. All right. I didn't put a crash, but I can put a crash on the last one. So, like, that's not a crash. There's a crash. All right, and then I got to extend it a little longer, and I need a pickup. I'll do a count in, a 2-bar count in, okay? So let's just go like this. Extend this out a little bit. Let me grab these. And drag them out, say 4 bars. Okay, now I want to do a pickup. So I'm gonna just do a 2-bar intro here. So I'm gonna do rim shot on the drums. Okay, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and quantize that. Okay, and that's our track. Okay, so I'm going to bounce this. Oops, here, bounce. That's it. Okay, let me just forget. Dark Tricks Lady. No. What's a Dark Tricks Lady? No. Black Magic Woman. Let's see. What's another synonym for magic? Let's see. Dark Tricks Lady just sounds wrong. Although I should do it just for us. It's funny. Oh, Catherine was here? What? Get out of here. Okay, seriously, get out of here, Catherine. Take care. Okay. I missed the first half hour. The chord progression at the bottom, that D minor. That's, that's right. Exactly right, John. That's D minor Aeolian. So it's not related to the stuff above it. That's the progression for Black Magic Woman. I bet they have car shows there, Dennis. Yeah, 100%. It's a giant hall. I mean, it's probably the biggest hall in all of Europe. The NAMM show is the biggest convention west of the Mississippi. It's bigger than CES. It's bigger than all the auto shows. It's crazy. And a lot of Asian companies come there because it's convenient, and America's the biggest market. So, all right, not Dark Tricks. So do we have another synonym trick? Dark synonym for magic trick, illusion, dark illusion lady. All right, so that's going to be, let me see, I'm going to put that in what folder here? Do I have YouTube on this? Yeah, here, YouTube music. All right, oh, let me, dang it. Okay, I'm going to save that name, but I got to turn off the click. I don't want the click to bounce. Okay, now we can bounce. Okay, go back to here, back to, where are you? No, where did it go? I just had you up. And now I have to go to the bathroom because I've been, okay, YouTube, no. Oh, there it is, gosh, way down there. All right, paste, all right. All right, so I'm gonna sign out and then I'm gonna bounce this, I'm gonna move this over to, it'll be in the Tom's lessons and PDFs, that kind of stuff, okay? It'll be there in just a few minutes, all right? I'm gonna pull it up here, go down here, find it, there it is, and make sure it's okay. Yeah, be something fun to play over, okay? Good thing to practice. We'll talk, maybe we'll talk more about it next week. We'll really start to come up with some exercises, okay? All right, everybody, God bless you. Gotta take off, and I'll see you soon. Bye.